Hello everybody. Today we're going to learn a small paragraph from a Tanya chapter. This Tanya chapter is chapter 25 in a part of the Tanya that's called Acording. This part of the Tanya is basically letters that the Alter Rebbe wrote on different occasions. And in this specific paragraph that we want to learn today, we're going to speak about the subject of anger, being angry. And the Alter Rebbe will teach us that basically what's happening when we feel angry about something, about someone, about something that happened. At that moment, he will explain to us that really we don't believe in Hashem. This is really what's happening. That at that moment we are not believing in Hashem, and he will show us the how to observe all this, any event that we might get angry. In such an event, he will tell us how to process it as Jews that wants to be with awareness. So let's see what Alter Rebbe says, and we'll explain. So he says, we're talking here about a saying that was said by our sages, and this is the saying. והוא בהקדים מאמר הז"ל, כל הכועס כאילו עובד עבודת כוכבים ומזלות וכולו. Our sages said that anybody who is angry, it's like he's servicing idols at that moment. Why they spoke so severely about anger, right? What can I do? I'm angry, something irritates me, and I'm mad. But they say, when you're mad, you should know it's like you're servicing idols. So what's really happening here? Why does it has to be so severe? Servicing idols. So Alter Rebbe explains to us this, והטעם, and the reason why they say like that. מובן ליודעי בינה is understood to those who understand. לפי שבעת כעסו נסתלקה ממנו האמונה. When a person is angry, at that moment he doesn't believe in Hashem. So now he's going to explain why, but basically, if we believe in Hashem, we know that there is divine providence. We know that Hashem is managing this world. It's explained in Tanya, in other parts of Tanya, that Hashem is constantly creating creation. It's not like somebody who created a product and now the product exists without the creator. Hashem is constantly creating reality. And therefore, Hashem is managing what's happening in reality. He determines what's going to happen, what's not going to happen. He has constant connection with our lives, with this reality and all the details in this reality. So if there is divine providence and Hashem is creating constantly the reality, and Hashem is doing only good, because when you know Hashem is the source of good, and Teva Tov Leitiv, the nature of good is to do good. And so therefore, there cannot be anything that is wrong, that is not how it's supposed to be, that is really not good. What can be? What could be is that we don't, at a certain moment or a certain event, we don't feel the presence of Hashem, because our belief flew away at that moment, and we don't feel the presence of Hashem at that moment, and therefore we don't see that this is a divine providence and this was done by Hashem, and Hashem is good, and for sure it's good, even if we don't understand the good, even if it's not a revealed good, maybe it's concealed good. That's also a way that Hashem behaves with us, and some good is concealed. It explains in Hasidus that this type of good comes from a higher level. It's like saying that darkness is a high level of light that we still don't have the vessels, the tools to understand, to consume. So basically it's all good. So even if it's concealed good, if you believe that Hashem is creating the reality, we know that what's happening is good, because it comes from Hashem. He's the only one responsible for this reality. So if we're angry, it's like saying, I don't believe that Hashem did this, or I don't believe Hashem is doing good. Something is wrong here, right? It's like we're worshipping idols, because we're saying there is another power in reality that can affect things. That's why I'm angry. If you believe that Hashem is creating reality constantly, you can't be angry. It doesn't make sense to be angry, because Hashem did it and Hashem do good. So basically what the Alter Rebbe says here is that when we are angry, we should know what happened to us is that our belief like went away at that moment. So let's see what he says. לפי שבעת כעסו נסתלקה ממנו האמונה. Right? Why it's like servicing idols? Because when you're angry, you should know it's like your belief ran away, disappeared from you. כאילו היה מאמין שמת השם הייתה זאת לו. If you would believe that what's happening now that makes you angry came from Hashem, לא היה בכעס כלל, you will not be angry, because you know Hashem is doing good, and Hashem creates this. And now the Alter Rebbe take it to the next step, and he says this, ואף שבן אדם שהוא בעל בחירה, מקללו או מכהו, או מזיק ממונו, הוא מתחייב בדיני אדם ובדיני שמיים על רוע בחירתו. So the Alter Rebbe says, yes, but the person who is now damaging me, doing wrong to me, is a person that has free choice, and he chose to do wrong. He's cursing me, or hitting me, or stealing from me. And the Torah says that he's doing wrong stuff. If you would go to a Rav, the Rav would say, this is wrong what he's doing, he's obligated by the Torah not to do that, he could be punished. So if this person is free choice and he chooses to do wrong, why shouldn't I be angry about him? Okay, Hashem is doing it, but it's being done through this person, so maybe it's okay that I be angry about him. So the Alter Rebbe says, no. He says a different angle. He shows us a different angle. He says, אף על פי כן, even so, על הניזק כבר נגזר מן השמיים, והרבה שלוחים למקום. Even so that he did wrong and he chose wrong and you're right, but the one who was damaged, this was predetermined by Hashem already, and הרבה שלוחים למקום, and Hashem could send another person to do it. Meaning, you shouldn't do the cheshbon of this person. You should do your own cheshbon. It's like saying we have one relationship in this life with Hashem, and this relationship is being reflected in all other relationships. So if something like that happens, and we're blaming the messenger, we're lacking to see the real reality that Hashem is talking to us through this. Because we were supposed to be damaged, it was predetermined by Hashem, and if not that person, so another one would come and do it. So we should look at the higher picture. We should look at the relationship we have with Hashem, and this is the way we should react. I'm not saying that if a terrorist comes to attack you, you don't do nothing and you don't get angry and you don't respond. I'm just saying we can be more observant. We can be more with awareness. When something happens, yeah, we can be assertive, we can put boundaries. It doesn't mean that you have to be numb, but you can open your eyes and understand you have a relationship with Hashem, and Hashem is in the reality in every event. And this event that's happening, somebody cursed me when I'm driving, I don't know what happened, Hashem is talking to me through him. I was supposed to get this from Hashem, and if not that person, another person will do it. If I'll open my eyes and be aware, I'll look at the higher picture, I will try to see what I need to fix in the relationship between me and Hashem. Because this is really what's happening here. If I miss that, I think somebody just did what he wants, then I'm angry, and it shows that I don't believe in Hashem at that point, at that event. So the Alter Rebbe, after saying that, he takes it to another step. And he says this, ולא עוד, not just this, אלא אפילו בשעה זו ממש שמכהו ומקללו, מתלבש בו כוח השם ורוח פיו יתברך המחיה ומקיימו. So he said, even at that time that somebody makes this damage to us, like cursing or hitting or whatever he is trying to do to us, the Alter Rebbe says, at that point, who is giving him his life and existence? Who is enabling him to do what he does? Hashem. So Hashem is in the details. Is in what's happening, right? Hashem gave him the idea. Hashem gave him the strength to get up in the morning. Hashem gives him the power to speak. For example, if somebody curses us, he could have not be able to speak. Hashem is within the reality. Hashem creates this reality. So the Alter Rebbe says, this is the way it works. And now he gives us an example from the Torah. There is a There's a story in the Torah when King David had to run from Jerusalem. He had lots of problems, King David, as we know. And on one occasion, he was running to the mountains with some of his heroic, people that were guarding him. And at that point comes Shimei ben Gera, which was, in the past, he was King David Rav. And now he's cursing him and throwing stones at him. So one of the people servicing King David told the king, listen, I'm going to take my sword and I'm going to take his head off. He's cursing a king. And King David doesn't tell him, according to Din Torah, this is what should be done. And we see that when King David is about to die, he says to his son, listen, you have to kill Shimei ben Gera, he cursed the king. But at that point, at that event, David doesn't answer like that to the soldier who's saying to him, listen, I'm going to take his head off. David tells him, no, leave him alone. Hashem told him to curse me. So Alter Rebbe explained to us, what does it mean? There's no place in the Torah that we see that's written over there that Hashem told Shimei, you curse David, King David. There's nothing like that in the Torah. So what King David means? And from that we understand exactly what the Alter Rebbe speaks about here regarding anger. So let's see in the Lashon of the Alter Rebbe. וכמו שכתוב, like it's written, כי השם אמר לו כלל. For Hashem told him to curse. It's a book of Shmuel. כי השם אמר לו כלל. Yeah, David answers, don't kill him, because Hashem told him to curse me. והיכן אמר לשמי? So the Alter Rebbe asks, what does it mean Hashem אמר לו כלל? It doesn't say in the Torah, Hashem told Shimei, curse King David. Ela, so he explains what does it mean, what King David means. אלא שמחשבה זו שנפלה לשמי בליבו ומוחו ירדה מאת השם. The thought to curse King David came to Shimei, to his mind and to his heart from Hashem. Hashem put this thought within him, this idea, this motivation to curse King David. So this is what David HaMelech answers. This is what King David answers to the soldiers. Hashem amar lo kalel. What does it mean Hashem told him to curse me? Hashem made him do that. This is divine providence. Hashem is in this event. Hashem is present. This is happening to me because I have unfinished business with Hashem. I need to fix my relationship with Hashem. I deserve this. He is only a messenger. So don't mess with the messenger. I need to do tshuva. I need to fix something in my relations with Hashem. But we see at the end of David, when King David is about to die, he does say to his son, King Shlomo, he should kill him, because according to Din Torah, he should die, curse the king, but he's not angry at him. He is doing what the Torah says to do, but we see that when it's happening, King David is not angry. King David is saying, Hashem told him to do that. I need to fix something with Hashem. Don't kill him. Don't touch him. And Alter Rebbe explained and says that this thought that Shimei had in his mind and heart came from Hashem, ורוח פיו המחיה כל צבאם החיה רוחו של שמי בשעה שדיבר דברים אלו לדוד. כאילו נסתלק רוח פיו התברך רגע אחד מרוחו של שמי לא יכול לדבר מאומה. So the Alter Rebbe explained further and says that Hashem is creating the reality, and Hashem creates Shimei ben Gera at that point, and he gives him life, he gives him existence, and he's enable him to speak, and enable him to have this idea to do this damage to David. And it's all being created by Hashem. Hashem is within every detail. In reality, nothing can happen unless Hashem wants it to happen. This is how our reality works. So this is what we're learning. The chapter goes on here about the way the reality is being created constantly by Hashem and so on. And basically this whole chapter is a letter that the Alter Rebbe writes to answer a claim that the people who objected Hasidus claimed about something the Baal Shem Tov said. But we took only from this chapter at this point we took out only the part speaks about anger, and from that we need to take to our lives that if we're about to get angry about something, first of all, we have to count until 10. We have to relax and observe. This is usually what the Rebbe says, because if you don't react automatically, then you stop, and then you can really observe it, what's happening. And again, we can put boundaries to people. We can be assertive. If somebody attacks us, we have to be aggressive sometimes. That's not the case. That's not the inyan here. The inyan here is to be more aware, more observant, more connected with Hashem, and to understand that if something happens and we react in anger, we can do everything but not really be angry, right? If we react in anger, we're missing Hashem, we're missing the message that Hashem wants to give us at that event. And if we take this into our lives, we will be a lot more relaxed, a lot more calm regarding reality and the events and our experience in life. And this should be our homework to tomorrow and the next day and the next week, to try to observe at everything that happens to us and say to ourselves, this is Hashem talking to me. I have one relationship in this life, a relationship with Hashem, and whatever happens reflects that. So if I want to get angry, I will stop and I would observe and I would say to myself, this is something that's supposed to happen to me. Hashem is doing it. I'm not saying don't defend yourself. I'm saying whatever happens for a reason. So be concentrated on the one who is creating reality, not on the messengers, not on the reality that is revealed to you. But believe in Hashem and understand there is a concealed dimension here, and we should do something, we should fix something. Something is really being told to us when an event like that happens. And we'll end with the story maybe. There was once a gvir, a very rich person. It says it's called a gvir. And this person, he was donating a lot to this community, and all the synagogue and all the schools, all the institutions were counting on him to give his donations. And he was a very serious, very wealthy guy, and he was very, very angry. He was a very angry person. That was in his nature. He was mad. So one day he went to meet the Rav, and he told the Rav, I don't know what to do. I'm angry all the time. I get mad about everything. So the Rav tells him, it's not such a big problem. So it started getting angry of the Rav. Why you tell me it's not a problem? I'm telling you, I'm getting angry. It's a problem. I don't know what to do. So the Rav tells him, listen, I'll show you that it's not such a big problem like you think. Okay, time pass. The holidays are arriving, Tishrei, and this guy, this wealthy guy, every year in Yom Kippur, in Mincha, there is Mafter Yona, a very important aliyah, Mafter Yona. It's a sgula to be rich, and everybody wants that. And usually you give it to somebody who paid a lot, or somebody respectable, and he would get this aliyah every Yom Kippur. And but this Yom Kippur, the Rav calls the Gabbai, the guy that's managing all the Torah reading, and tells him, listen, this year, don't give him the Mafter Yona. The Gabbai starts to be afraid. I'm not going to give him, he's going to kill me. And the Rav tells him, not only that, you give him Ag Beglila, the one that wraps the Torah at the end. It's very important also, but some people think it's not such a important thing to do, like get Mafter Yona. So the Gabbai think to himself, what I'm going to do? This guy is going to kill me. He's mad. He's crazy. So he gets an idea. He has an idea. He calls the Gvir. He calls the wealthy man before Yom Kippur, and he tells him, listen, this year I wanted to know something. The Rav came to me and he told me not to give you the Mafter Yona this year. So the Gvir, the wealthy guy, he understood that the Rav is making a trick. He's testing him. He just went to talk to him about that he's getting angry easily, and now the Rav tells the Gabbai not to give him Mafter Yona. So he understands it's a trick. So he says to the Gabbai, no problem, don't give me Mafter Yona, and he smiles. So the Gabbai doesn't understand why he reacts so nicely. He tells him, not only that, he told me to give you the Ag Beglile, to wrap the Torah at the end. So the Gvir smiles and says, yeah, no problem, sure, give me that. Yom Kippur comes, after Yonah comes, and the Gabbai calls somebody else. All the crowd is looking at this wealthy person, this Gvir, and waiting for him to explode. And he smiles and is relaxed. Okay, and then somebody, they made all the aliyot, and they go to the part when you wrap the Torah, and then the Gabbai calls the Gvir, the wealthy guy, and he comes and he's smiling and he's doing it. And everybody is amazed. He's not angry, he's not mad. What's happened to him? What's happening with him? Anyway, the holiday was finished, and the Rav met the Gvir after the davening, after the prayers. And the Rav told the Gvir, no, you see, it's not such a big problem. You see, you reacted very nice. So the Gvir told the Rav, yeah, but the Gabbai, before the Chag, before the holiday, he came to me and he told me what you're planning. So I understood it's a trick that you're doing, so I didn't get angry. So the Rav tells him, every time in your life that you want to become mad, you're getting angry, you should say to yourself, they're making now from Shamayim, they're making a trick. They're testing me from above. That was the message of the Rav to this Gvir. Every time you want to get mad, you should know it's a test from above. So Hashem is testing you, exactly like I did to you now. And this Gvir changed his behavior and became a lot more relaxed after this story. So this is what we should say to ourselves, that if something happens and we get mad and it's automatically, and we should say, this is not the emes. The emes is Hashem is here, Hashem is in this event, is creating reality, we're being tested, and we should observe this as a test and as something that a message from Hashem. We should fix something in our relations with Hashem, and this is the real reality, and not automatically act in anger. So thank you for listening. This is the Tanya for today. This is the lesson for today. Have a good day. Bracha v'atzlacha.